Are you talking about whether you can take this off hot, man? Take this thing off hot, cold, hundreds of times. I mean, building this baffling, I bet I did 50 times on it. Basically, with an air-cooled engine, you see that it's like a Harley Davidson. It's cooling it through these fins. Okay, where you're ramming air through the center of the, you know, these inlets here. Well, you got to capture that air and force it to go down past those fins and out the bottom to take the heat out. Well, without this structure in here, it just blows back here and goes out. It will not take the air out. So what you had to do, what the big problem was, I didn't have any baffling. This is what we call baffling. I didn't have any of it with it. So I had to build all of this to fit this lower cowling and the upper cowling. And it's just really not anywhere close to finished. It's just rough. But the airplane is cooling very well. And so the top of the cowling, the one that we just took off, actually folds this material down and holds it down like that. Well, the air can't go past it, and it has to go down that way. And now with my other engine, it was really tough to cool it. This thing here is, it cools really well. But having to cut all of this stuff out around these rocker box covers and stuff like that to get it shaped for all of that, and then back here around your motor mounts and stuff like that is very time consuming. I mean, it's not difficult work, it's just time consuming. And you have to put the cowling on and off to test fit it a bunch. So
is that sheet metal any certain type of sheet metal? What do you use?
No, that's on this kind of stuff. You know, the two main sheet metals that we use in aviation is 2024 and 6061. And I'm not even sure what this is. It's just some leftover stuff I had around that I kind of put this together with. But the latest thing, of course, is this prop. I had to put a prop extension on here that basically fits this propeller so that the propeller is far enough outside the cowling for the spinner that is not here yet to mount on here. And so you have to get the prop projected in front of the prop flange out to where it fits your particular spinner. So that was part of the deal. But just the last thing I did just Sunday was put this air oil separator, where this is your crankcase vent right here. Well, your crankcase vent is allowing the pressure not to build up inside the crankcase. Well, when you're turning a lot of RPMs, especially, you get a lot of oil mist in the air. Well, it'll vent that oil mist out, and you'll get some oil draining out the vent line. Well, this allows the oil to condense right in here and the air to go on out. But when your engine shut off, the oil drains back into the engine, which is what you want to, you don't want it draining out on the ground, losing it. You still got it. It's not much, but I flew it down to Peachtree City and got a friend of mine to really dial in the fuel injection. This is unmetered pressure and then metered pressure on out the other side. I'm just learning this fuel injection system, so. But you gotta check the pressure on the unmetered side and the metered side and dial it in. And he's got it pretty well squared away. That guy's a real guru, a guy named John Hudson. And he is he's a real gentleman, man. He's helped me out a lot, and I really appreciate it.
So how's the exhaust that you worked on, TC welded for you? How did that all work out?
Bolted right up and going well. Again, we kind of project those to the rear just to get a little bit of jet effect, take away the drag of them standing straight down, point the exhaust to the back, and And yeah, they're working very well, no problem at all. I mean, I don't expect any problem when TC's involved. When I'm doing stuff, I may have to go back and redo it.
So you happy with how short they are? I mean, the drag, you're good there?
Yeah, I am. That's about as far back as I'd want to point them. If you pointed them straight back, you might get some of the air flowing here with exhaust in it, and it might migrate in under the canopy here. So you want to, and you run a carbon monoxide test in there to make sure it's not drawing any carbon monoxide inside the cockpit and that kind of thing. So I think if I ran them straight back, I would have more of a chance of getting them in there. But you could see too how the exhaust on this side is not as prolific as the other side. It's just the way the prop is wrapping that stuff around. Sometimes it's more on one side than the other. The other side's got a good bit more on it, where it kind of sticks to it. But the cowling, you saw the cowling where I had, this is a top mounted fuel injection system. Well, the other engine, it was a lower. So you saw where I had to cut the cowling and build the loft up to give me room for this system. And I also had to do it down here for the mixture control was hitting the cowling. And so I had to put me a little bit of a blister on there. And all of that, I'll eventually paint it. I'll probably cut this off. Since this was the air intake for the carburetor, we got it buttoned back up pretty well, and I think everything's good to go. We've checked it over, gave it a pre-flight, and we'll push it out and see how this thing will go. Twin aircraft engines in Noonan, and boy, they felt like it was a good engine, and I believe it is. Those guys, they have helped me so much. And people think it's hard to get out of a midget Mustang. The way I do it is I just kind of take my arms and kind of lift up, push back, and now my feet are holding me here. And then I just kind of stand up. And it's really not uncomfortable. It doesn't feel real small. But overall, the flight went very well. The thing is running really good. It's idling just a little bit fast, which means I touched down a little bit with a little bit of power on. It's idling about 900. And I've turned it down some, but maybe it stumbles just a little bit, and I don't want it to quit on landing, so I've got it running a little bit high. So yeah, on the landing, you notice that I'm running right along, and you got to stand on the brakes pretty good. Well, the grass has really got a lot of dew on it and all that, and you could feel it's kind of skating around a little bit. But you need brakes here, and it's not a real problem, but I need to get that thing dialed back. But overall, it's running really well. It's got a lot of power for what it has, and it's climbing, 120 miles an hour at 1,400 feet a minute. And it'll probably do better than that if I really want to do it. I've only flown it about 3 hours, and since I got it running, and this is the last test flight I've done, and it seems to be doing pretty well.